The boundary crossed. Captain Maya Chen stood on the bridge of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon, staring into the vast emptiness of uncharted space. The view screen displayed only stars, countless pinpricks of light against the endless black canvas. This region, designated as the Orion Spur Extension, had never been properly mapped by Earth's explorers. That was about to change. "Status report," Maya said, her calm voice belying the excitement she felt. The Horizon was the most advanced exploration vessel ever built by the United Earth Space Agency, a blend of scientific laboratory and frontier explorer. It represented humanity's growing reach into the cosmos. "All systems nominal, Captain," replied Commander Elijah Park from the operations console. "We've just completed our scan of the Kepler 879 system. Data indicates no habitable planets, but the third planet has interesting mineral compositions. Survey drones are cataloging it now." Maya nodded, brushing a strand of dark hair from her face. "Good. Once they're done, let's push on. The Arcturus sector should be just beyond the next jump point." The Horizon had been exploring this section of space for 3 months now, mapping star systems that had only been theoretical before their arrival. Their mission was peaceful: to explore, catalog, and expand humanity's understanding of the galaxy. In the century since humans had developed faster-than-light travel, they had encountered only a handful of other intelligent species, all at similar or lower technological levels. The galaxy, it seemed, was wide open for exploration. "Captain," called Lieutenant Nadia Santos from the sensor station, her voice suddenly tense, "I'm detecting unusual energy readings ahead. Nothing natural about them." Maya walked over to Nadia's station, looking at the readouts. The screen showed a faint energy signature stretching across their path, like an invisible thread woven through space. "Analysis?" Maya asked, frowning. "It appears to be some kind of boundary marker," Nadia replied, her fingers dancing over the controls. "The energy signature is consistent with advanced technology, far beyond anything we've encountered before. It's almost like a fence." "A fence?" Maya echoed. "In the middle of nowhere." "That's what the data suggests," Nadia confirmed. "And it stretches for at least 20 light-years in either direction." Maya returned to her command chair, considering the implications. No known species had claimed territory this far out. The nearest established civilization was the Centauri Coalition, and they were hundreds of light-years away. "Could it be abandoned technology?" suggested Commander Park. "Something left behind by an ancient civilization." "Possibly," Maya conceded. "But the energy readings are active, not residual." She made her decision. "Take us closer, but approach with caution. Keep sensors at maximum range." The Horizon edged forward, its powerful engines barely at a fraction of their capacity. As they drew nearer to the energy boundary, more details became clear. The fence was actually a sophisticated network of automated sensor buoys, connected by an energy field that would be invisible to less advanced scanning systems. "It's definitely a boundary marker," Nadia reported. "And it's active. We're being scanned." "By whom?" Maya asked, feeling a prickle of unease. Before Nadia could answer, the space in front of them shimmered. 3 vessels appeared, seemingly from nowhere, their hulls sleek and predatory. Each was at least twice the size of the Horizon, with weapon ports clearly visible along their flanks. "They were cloaked," Park whispered, astonishment in his voice. "Perfect cloaking technology. We didn't detect a thing." Maya felt her mouth go dry. Cloaking technology of that caliber was theoretical at best for Earth's scientists. Whoever these newcomers were, they possessed technology far beyond humanity's current capabilities. "Open communication channels," Maya ordered. "All frequencies, universal translator at ready." The view screen flickered, and a face appeared. It was humanoid but clearly alien. Pale blue skin, elongated features, and eyes with vertical pupils that reminded Maya of a cat's. The alien wore what appeared to be a military uniform, adorned with symbols of rank. "Attention, unidentified vessel." The alien spoke, the translator converting their words after a slight delay. "You have violated the sovereign boundary of the Valkyrie Empire. Identify yourself and state your purpose immediately." Maya straightened in her chair. First contact situations were always delicate, but this one had the added complication of an apparent territorial violation. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth exploration vessel Horizon. We are on a peaceful mission of scientific discovery. We were unaware of any territorial boundaries in this region. If we have trespassed, we apologize and will withdraw." The Valkyrie officer's expression remained stern. "Ignorance is not an excuse, Captain. This boundary is clearly marked according to Galactic standard protocols." "With respect," Maya replied carefully, "we have no record of these protocols. This is the first time humanity has encountered the Valkyrie Empire." A flicker of surprise crossed the alien's face, quickly replaced by suspicion. "You claim to be unaware of the Galactic Council's boundary marking standards. Every spacefaring civilization in this quadrant adheres to them." Maya felt a chill run down her spine. Galactic Council. There was an organized interstellar community they had been completely unaware of. "I assure you, this is the first we've heard of any Galactic Council," Maya said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Humanity has only possessed faster-than-light technology for about a century. We've had limited contact with other species." The Valkyrie officer conferred with someone off-screen, their conversation too quiet for the translator to pick up. "Your vessel will be boarded and inspected," the officer finally declared. "Power down your engines and prepare to receive our inspection team." Maya tensed. While she was open to diplomatic solutions, allowing an unknown military force to board her vessel was out of the question. "I'm afraid I cannot allow that," she replied firmly. "As I said, we'll withdraw from your territory immediately. We have no hostile intentions. Your cooperation is not requested, it is required," the Valkyrie officer stated coldly. "Failure to comply will be considered an act of aggression." Maya signaled to Park to cut the audio feed temporarily. "Options?" she asked her senior staff. "We could make a run for it," suggested Lieutenant Commander Hiroshi Tanaka from the helm. "The Horizon is built for speed. We might be able to outrun them. Or we could try to talk our way out," Park countered. "This is clearly a misunderstanding. If we—" His words were cut off as the ship rocked violently. The lights flickered, and warning alarms blared across the bridge. "They'd fired on us," Nadia shouted, her fingers flying over her console. "Some kind of electromagnetic pulse weapon. Our shields absorbed most of it, but several systems are fluctuating." Maya's decision was immediate. "Evasive maneuvers. Full power to engines and shields. We're getting out of here." The Horizon banked sharply, its powerful engines flaring to life. The three Valkyrie vessels pursued, firing another volley of energy weapons. The human ship shuddered under the impact, but its shields held. "They're faster than us," Tanaka reported grimly. "We can't outrun them in open space." Maya scanned the tactical display, looking for any advantage. "There," she pointed, "that asteroid field. Take us in, full speed." "Captain," Tanaka protested, "at these velocities, navigating an asteroid field would be extremely dangerous. More dangerous than being captured by an unknown hostile force." Maya countered. "Do it." The Horizon plunged into the asteroid field, massive rocks tumbling around them. The ship's eye-assisted navigation systems worked overtime, calculating trajectories and safe passages through the deadly maze. The Valkyrie ships followed, but more cautiously. Their larger size made them less maneuverable among the asteroids. "They're falling behind," Park reported, "but still in pursuit." "Captain," Nadia called out, "I'm detecting something unusual about these asteroids. They contain high concentrations of duranium and other rare elements. They're causing sensor interference." Maya suddenly saw an opportunity. "Can we use that to our advantage? Hide in the sensor shadow of a larger asteroid?" "Possibly," Nadia replied, calculating quickly. There's a cluster of larger bodies about 3 kilometers ahead. If we can get there before they adjust their sensors. Do it, Maya ordered, and prepare the prototype quantum disruptor. The quantum disruptor was the Horizon's secret weapon, a defensive system designed to temporarily disable enemy systems without causing permanent damage. It had never been field tested against alien technology. The ship weaved through the asteroid field, the crew tense as proximity alarms continually sounded. Finally, they'd reached the cluster Nadia had identified, a collection of massive asteroids, each several kilometers across. Cut engines, Maya ordered. Minimal power. Let the asteroids mask our signature. The Horizon drifted into the shadow of the largest asteroid, its systems powering down to avoid detection. On the view screen, the 3 Valkyrie vessels could be seen searching the field, their powerful sensors sweeping back and forth. "They're having trouble tracking us," Park whispered, as if afraid the Valkyrie might hear. "The mineral content is confusing their sensors." "Good," Maya said. "Now we need to buy time. Launch the communication buoy. Have it transmit a complete record of this encounter back to Earth. Add a first contact protocol alert." "Launching now," confirmed Communications Officer Adebayo. "Message away." "They've detected the transmission," Nadia warned. "They're converging on our position. Prepare the quantum disruptor," Maya ordered, her voice steady despite the tension. "Target their propulsion systems only." The Horizon's specialized weapon powered up, drawing energy from the ship's main reactor. It was designed to create a localized quantum field disruption that would temporarily disable electronic systems without causing permanent damage, a perfect non-lethal defense mechanism. "Disruptor ready," reported Tactical Officer Lieutenant Zhao. "But Captain, we've never tested this against alien technology. We don't know how effective it will be." "We're about to find out," Maya replied grimly. "Fire when ready." The quantum disruptor fired, sending out invisible waves of quantum energy that washed over the Lid Valkyrie vessel. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then suddenly, the alien ship's lights flickered and went dark. It began to drift, its engines silent. "It worked," Park exclaimed. "Their primary systems are offline." But the victory was short-lived. The other 2 Valkyrie ships adjusted their approach, their weapons charging. "They're adapting," Nadia warned, "changing their shield frequencies. The disruptor won't work on them now." Maya gripped the arms of her command chair. "Full power to shields. Prepare for impact." The Valkyrie ships fired simultaneously, their energy weapons striking the Horizon's shields with devastating force. The human vessel rocked violently, systems overloading across the ship. "Shields at 40%, Zhao reported. "Another hit like that, and they'll fail completely." Maya knew they couldn't win this fight, not against 3 technologically superior vessels. But they couldn't surrender either, not until they understood what they were dealing with. "Launch probes 3 through 7, she ordered. "Random vectors. Full sensor packages active." "Captain," Park questioned. "We need to learn everything we can about them," Maya explained. "If we don't make it back, at least Earth will have data." The probes launched, scattering in different directions through the asteroid field. The Valkyrie ships immediately diverted resources to track and destroy them, giving the Horizon a brief respite. "Now the hard part," Maya said, her mind racing through possibilities. "We need to get out of this asteroid field and make a jump back to Earth space. Our only advantage is that they seem to want us intact. Otherwise, they would have hit us with everything they have." As if to prove her wrong, another barrage of energy weapons struck the Horizon, sending cascading failures through several systems. "Shields at 15%, Zhao shouted over the noise of exploding consoles. "Main power fluctuating." Maya made her decision. "Divert all power to engines. We're making a run for the jump point." "What about shields?" Park asked, his face pale. "We're dead if we stay here," Maya said simply. "It's a risk we have to take." The Horizon surged forward, its engines glowing hot as they pushed to maximum output. The ship danced through the asteroid field, weaving a path toward open space and the distant jump point that would allow them to activate their FTL drive. Behind them, the Valkyrie ships followed, their weapons firing continuously. Several shots went wide, detonating asteroids and sending deadly shrapnel in all directions. Hull breach on Deck 3. Someone shouted from the damage control station. Emergency bulkheads engage. Maya held onto her chair as the ship shuddered again. Distance to jump point. 600,000 kilometers, Tanaka replied, his hand steady on the controls despite the chaos around them. 2 minutes at current speed. We're not going to make it, Park said quietly, looking at the damage reports flooding his console. Maya refused to accept that. Activate the secondary fusion reactor. Reroute everything to engines. Captain, that'll leave us with no shields at all, Zhao protested. Do it, Maya ordered. The Horizon surged forward again, its speed increasing as the secondary reactor came online. The Valkyrie ships fell slightly behind, seemingly surprised by the sudden acceleration. 30 seconds to jump point, Tanaka reported. Another hit rocked the ship, harder than before. Sparks flew from several consoles, and the lights dimmed momentarily before emergency systems kicked in. Direct hit to our port engine nacelle, Zhao reported, coughing through the smoke filling the bridge. We're losing stability. Compensate, Maya ordered. Keep us on course. 10 seconds to jump point, Tanaka called out, his voice strained with concentration. The view screen showed the Valkyrie ships closing in, their weapons charging for what could be a killing blow. 5 seconds. 4, 3. Maya held her breath. 2, 1. Jump point reached. Activate FTL drive, Maya shouted. The Horizon's Alcubierre drive engaged, warping space around the vessel. For a moment, it seemed like the entire universe compressed into a single point of light. Then, with a flash, the ship disappeared from normal space, leaving the furious Valkyrie vessels behind. But Maya knew this wasn't over. They had escaped, but at great cost. And they had just inadvertently made first contact with what appeared to be a vast and powerful empire, one that now considered humanity hostile. As the Horizon limped through FTL space, Maya looked around at her injured crew and damaged ship. They had survived, against all odds. Now they needed to warn Earth about what was coming. Because the Valkyrie Empire would not forget this encounter. The boundary had been crossed, and there would be consequences. Maya just hoped humanity would be ready when they came. The Empire remembers. The Horizon emerged from FTL travel with a shudder that reverberated through its damaged hull. Emergency lights bathed the bridge in an eerie red glow as Captain Maya Chen surveyed the damage reports flooding her command console. The situation was dire. Life support functioning at 68% capacity, propulsion systems critically damaged, and hull integrity compromised across multiple sectors. Status report, Maya ordered, her voice steady despite the chaos around her. We've dropped out of FTL at the coordinates you specified, Captain. Lieutenant Commander Tanaka reported from the helm. We're in the Proxima Centauri system, approximately 4.2 light-years from Earth. Any sign of pursuit? Maya asked, her eyes never leaving the sensor readouts. Nothing yet, Lieutenant Santos responded from the sensor station, her face illuminated by the blue glow of her console. But our long-range sensors are damaged. We can only detect within a half-light-year radius. Commander Park approached Maya's chair, his uniform singed, and a gash visible across his forehead. Engineering reports the Alcubierre drive is completely offline. We burned out the containment matrix during our escape. We're not jumping anywhere without major repairs. Maya nodded grimly. They had pushed the Horizon beyond its design parameters, and now they were paying the price. But they were alive. And more importantly, they had reached the emergency rendezvous point. Communications, Maya called out. Any response to our distress signal? Officer Adebayo looked up from his station. Yes, Captain. We're receiving encrypted transmissions from Earth Command. They received our emergency beacon. And he paused, his eyes widening. They're sending reinforcements. Estimated arrival. 12 hours. A collective breath of relief swept through the bridge. 12 hours. They just needed to survive for 12 hours. What about the message, boy? Maya asked. Did it get through before the Valkyrie intercepted it? Affirmative. Adebayo confirmed. Earth Command acknowledges receipt of our first contact data package. They're mobilizing the entire Fifth Fleet. Maya felt a weight lift from her shoulders, but only slightly. The Fifth Fleet was impressive by human standards. 25 warships with the latest defensive and offensive capabilities. But would it be enough against a civilization that possessed technology far beyond their own? Captain, Santos called out urgently. I'm detecting spatial distortions approaching from the direction we came from. Similar signature to the Valkyrie ships, but bigger. Maya's heart sank. They'd followed us. How was that possible? We were in FTL. They must have tracked our wake signature, Park suggested. Their technology is clearly more advanced than we estimated. Time to intercept? Maya asked. At their current speed, Santos calculated, less than 3 hours. The bridge fell silent as the implications sank in. 3 hours until the Valkyrie arrived. 12 hours until reinforcements from Earth. The math was simple and devastating. We need to buy time, Maya said, breaking the silence. We can't outrun them. And we can't outgun them. But maybe we can outsmart them. She stood up, wincing slightly at the pain from her own injuries. Commander Park, I need every operational system diverted to sensors and our remaining weapons. Lieutenant Zhao, prepare all our probes for remote detonation. Lieutenant Santos, map every asteroid, dust cloud, and spatial anomaly in this system. We're going to use the environment to our advantage. The crew sprang into action, a renewed sense of purpose pushing aside their exhaustion and fear. If they were going to die, they would die fighting. And they would make sure Earth had every piece of intelligence they could gather on this new threat. 3 hours later, the horizon hovered near a massive asteroid field at the edge of the Proxima Centauri system. Its external lights were darkened, and non-essential systems powered down to minimize its signature. Captain Maya stood on the bridge, watching the tactical display with steely determination. They're here, Santos announced quietly. The view screen showed 5 Valkyrie vessels emerging from what appeared to be their version of FTL travel. These ships made the previous border patrol vessels look like shuttlecraft. Each was massive, dreadnought class by human standards, bristling with weapon ports and surrounded by a faint energy field that distorted space around them. They've deployed smaller vessels, Park reported. Scout ships spreading out in a search pattern. Maya nodded. It was as she had expected. Prepare to execute Operation Firefly. Timing is everything. The plan was desperate, born from necessity and the limited resources they had available. The Horizon had deployed its remaining probes throughout the asteroid field, each programmed to emit a brief but powerful energy signature identical to the ship's own power core. If the Valkyrie took the bait, the resulting confusion might buy them the precious hours they needed. First probe activating. Now, Zhao announced. On the view screen, a bright flash appeared at the far edge of the asteroid field. The Valkyrie reaction was immediate, 2 of their scout ships breaking formation to investigate. Second probe. Now, Zhao continued. Another flash, this time in the opposite direction. More Valkyrie ships diverted. They're taking the bait, Park whispered. For now, Maya cautioned, but they're not fools. They'll figure it out eventually. As if on cue, one of the massive Valkyrie dreadnoughts changed course, heading directly toward the Horizon's actual position. They've found us, Santos confirmed. The flagship is approaching, others maintaining position. Maya took a deep breath. Initiate Phase 2. Phase 2 was even riskier than the first. The Horizon had positioned itself near an unstable asteroid composed primarily of volatile minerals. If their calculations were correct, a precisely targeted hit from their remaining weapons would create a chain reaction, generating an electromagnetic pulse powerful enough to temporarily blind the Valkyrie sensors. "Weapons locked on target," Zhao reported. "Ready to fire." "Wait for it," Maya ordered, her eyes fixed on the approaching dreadnought. "We need them closer, closer." The Valkyrie ship loomed larger on the view screen, its weapons visibly charging. They had seconds, not minutes. "Now," Maya commanded. The Horizon fired its remaining energy weapons at the unstable asteroid. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, with spectacular violence, the asteroid exploded in a blinding flash of energy. The electromagnetic pulse washed over the area, temporarily disrupting electronic systems, including those of the Horizon itself. "All systems rebooting," Park reported as the ship's computers came back online. "Minimal damage to our systems." "What about the Valkyrie?" Maya asked urgently. Santos worked her console, bringing sensors back online. "Their flagship is adrift. Systems appear to be offline. The other ships are maintaining distance, likely reassessing." "Good," Maya said. "Now for Phase 3. Lieutenant Tanaka, take us behind the moon. Full impulse power." The damaged Horizon limped toward Proxima Centauri's largest moon, using its bulk to shield them from the Valkyrie sensors. Once in position, they deployed their final surprise: a series of automated drones programmed to broadcast contradictory sensor readings across the system. "Drones activated," Adebayo confirmed. "Broadcasting now." Maya allowed herself a small smile. The Valkyrie might possess superior technology, but they had never encountered humanity before. They didn't know what to expect, and unpredictability was humanity's greatest weapon. For the next several hours, the Horizon played a deadly game of hide and seek with the Valkyrie fleet. Each time the aliens seemed to locate them, another carefully planned diversion would draw them away. It was a desperate strategy that couldn't last forever, but it didn't need to. It just needed to last long enough. 9 hours after their arrival in the Proxima Centauri system, with the Valkyrie closing in once more, Lieutenant Santos' console beeped insistently. "Captain," she said, her voice trembling with barely contained excitement. "Multiple FTL signatures detected. It's the Fifth Fleet." The view screen shifted to show a formation of Earth vessels dropping out of FTL travel. Leading them was the UESS Intrepid, Earth's newest and most powerful battlecruiser. Though smaller than the Valkyrie dreadnoughts, the human ships had one crucial advantage. They had been preparing for this confrontation for the past 12 hours, while the Valkyrie had been exhausted by the Horizon's guerrilla tactics. "Incoming transmission from the Intrepid," Adebayo announced. "On screen," Maya ordered. Admiral Helena Reyes appeared on the view screen, her expression grim but determined. "Captain Chen, your ship looks like hell." Maya couldn't help but laugh, the tension of the past day finally finding release. "You should see the other guys." "Oh, we're about to," Reyes replied with a predatory smile. "The Horizon's data package was most informative. We've been analyzing their tactics and technology since your first transmission. We might be outgunned, but we're not outmatched." "Admiral," Maya said urgently, "these people call themselves the Valkyrie. They're part of something called the Galactic Council. This isn't just a border skirmish. We may have stumbled into something much bigger." "All the more reason to make a good first impression," Reyes replied. "Fall back and let us handle this. Your ship has done enough." The Fifth Fleet moved into formation, placing themselves between the damaged Horizon and the approaching Valkyrie vessels. The human ships deployed in a three-dimensional defensive pattern that would have been impossible to coordinate without extensive pre-planning. "They're hailing the Valkyrie," Adebayo reported. Maya watched as the two fleets faced each other, humanity's first real confrontation with a major galactic power. The next few minutes would determine whether this incident escalated into interstellar war or could somehow be resolved diplomatically. The Valkyrie are responding, Santos reported. They're standing down. Their weapons are powering down. Maya felt a surge of hope. Perhaps the sight of an organized human fleet had convinced the Valkyrie that humanity wasn't the primitive species they had initially assumed. Admiral Rise is requesting your presence for the negotiations, Adebayo informed her. They're sending a shuttle. Hours later, Maya found herself aboard the Intrepid, sitting in a conference room across from the Valkyrie commander, a stern-faced alien who introduced himself as High Commander Tavik of the 8th Imperial Fleet. Your tactics were unexpected, Tavik said, his vertical pupils dilating slightly as he regarded Maya. No species has ever violated our border and then evaded capture for so long, especially not with such primitive technology. Maya bit back a retort. This wasn't the time for pride. We didn't intentionally violate your border, High Commander. As I explained to your patrol ships, we were unaware of the Valkyrie Empire's existence or its territorial boundaries. Admiral Rise, seated beside Maya, nodded in agreement. The United Earth Alliance has been exploring space for less than a century. We've had limited contact with other species, and none that were part of this Galactic Council you've mentioned. Tavik's expression remained unreadable, but there was a new thoughtfulness in his gaze. You truly didn't know. Your species is indeed isolated. He paused, consulting a datapad. Our analysis of your vessel confirms this. Your technology is innovative, but clearly developed in isolation. There are solutions you found that are quite unconventional. Necessity breeds innovation, Maya replied. When you're alone in the dark, you learn to adapt. Indeed, Tavik said, something like respect creeping into his voice. Like your quantum disruptor, crude but effective, and your tactical approach, using the environment against a superior force. Most species would have surrendered immediately. That's not really our style, Rice said with a slight smile. The negotiations continued for hours, with the Valkyrie gradually revealing more about the galactic political landscape. The Valkyrie Empire was one of 7 major powers that made up the Galactic Council, a governing body that maintained order across much of the explored galaxy. Earth, it seemed, had been developing in a region considered primitive space, an area largely ignored by the major powers due to its lack of valuable resources or strategic importance. Until now. Your species possesses certain qualities that are unusual, Tavik admitted toward the end of the negotiations. Your adaptability, your resourcefulness when facing superior forces. These are traits that the Empire values. Maya exchanged glances with Admiral Reyes. This was unexpected. What are you suggesting, High Commander? Rise asked cautiously. I am suggesting, Tavik replied, that I will recommend to the Imperial Council that humanity be granted observer status within the Galactic Council. This would allow for cultural exchange, technological trade, and proper border demarcation to avoid future incidents. It was far more than they had hoped for. Observer status would give humanity a foothold in galactic politics and access to technologies they might have taken centuries to develop on their own. There is one condition, Tavik added. The officer responsible for this incident must serve as humanity's representative to the Valkyrie court, to learn our ways and serve as a liaison between our peoples. All eyes turned to Maya. Me? She asked, stunned. You demonstrated courage, tactical innovation, and the ability to adapt to unknown circumstances, Tavik explained. These are qualities respected in Valkyrie culture. Your mistake has inadvertently opened a door for your species. It would be fitting for you to walk through it first. Maya looked to Admiral Reyes, who nodded almost imperceptibly. I would be honored, Maya said, straightening in her chair. Though I hope the Valkyrie court is ready for humanity, we can be unpredictable. So we have noticed, Tavik replied, and for the first time, his lips curved in what might have been a smile. 6 months later, Captain Maya Chen stood on the observation deck of the Valkyrie Imperial Palace on Valkyr Prime, watching as the first official human diplomatic delegation arrived. The Horizon, fully repaired and upgraded with Valkyrie technology, led the procession, a symbol of the unexpected bridge between two civilizations. Behind her, High Commander Tavik approached, his formal imperial armor glinting in the light of Valkyr's twin suns. "The Emperor is impressed with your species' quick adaptation to Council protocols," Tavik commented. "In just 6 months, you've established trade agreements with 3 Council races and begun integrating our technological standards." "As I told you," Maya replied with a smile, "adaptability is our specialty." Indeed, the story of the Horizon has spread throughout the Empire. They call it the Boundary Incident now. It's becoming something of a legend among our younger officers. "A legend?" Maya asked, raising an eyebrow. "Based on a navigational error." "Based on what happened after the error," Tavik corrected. "One small ship, outmatched and damaged, evading an Imperial fleet through ingenuity alone. It's inspiring in its way. It reminds us that technology alone does not determine the outcome of conflicts." Maya turned back to the view screen, watching as the Earth ships docked at the massive HFY Space Station. What had begun as a simple exploration mission had transformed into humanity's introduction to the wider galactic community. The road ahead would be challenging. They were technological infants compared to most Council races, but they brought perspectives and solutions that the older civilizations had never considered. "You know," Maya said thoughtfully, "there's an old Earth saying, sometimes the greatest discoveries come from making mistakes." "A wise philosophy," Tavik acknowledged. "The Empire may have forgotten that wisdom over the millennia of our existence. Perhaps your species will remind us." As Maya watched Earth's flag being ceremonially raised alongside the Valkyrie Imperial banner, she reflected on the strange path that had led them here. A simple boundary crossing, a desperate escape, and now a new chapter in human history, one where they were no longer alone in the cosmos, but part of something greater. The Valkyrie Empire would indeed remember the name of humanity, not as enemies, but as the species that reminded an ancient civilization what it meant to adapt, to innovate, and to face overwhelming odds with nothing but courage and ingenuity. The legend had only just begun.